Now, Michael Carter-Williams, a pretty good player in this league.
As long as he's not shooting.
As long as he's not, but a pretty good point guard.
Yeah.
Who's not playing for Jason Kidd, another point guard who couldn't shoot all that well.
Yeah, that's true.
In Milwaukee, threw out a tweet here the other night. He was in Denver because the Milwaukee Bucks are here. This is kind of interesting because Tim Connolly has told us a number of times, I believe I can get free agents to come to Denver. It hasn't been the case in Nuggets history, but Connolly believes he can. This is what Michael Carter-Williams tweeted out.
Yeah,
Denver is an underrated city. I really like it. Do you think other NBA players, particularly NBA stars, are going to start feeling the same way? We are becoming a larger metropolis.
We just passed 3 million, which means we're becoming a self-perpetuating
in the metro
economy,
area. Yeah,
which means we no longer need other markets to make us a big market.
We're becoming more of an, and I'm going to use this term, and everybody knows what it means. We're becoming more of an urban center. Does that play well to NBA players? And do you think Tim Connolly is right? He can get big name free agents, stars and all stars in this league to come to Denver.
Well, I'm very biased because I'm fifth generation and I work on this type of stuff. And I think that the fact that we are becoming more urban and we are becoming bigger is a huge positive for every facet of our economy, including our basketball team. And I think that Denver can be a really attractive place for these guys to be. But at the end of the day, these guys go where, they go where the money is, and they also go where the wins are. I mean, remember when the Nuggets tanked in 2002?
Yeah.
We won 17 games under Jeff Buzdelek, 2002-03. In 2003, we drafted Carmelo Anthony. We signed some pretty good free agents that time. I mean, Andre Miller was one of the most sought-after free agents that summer. It was him and Arenas. And we went after both of them, and we ended up getting Andre Miller. And then we got John Barry to sign here. We got Earl Boykins to sign here. The next year, Kenyon Martin, I know, was the worst contract in Nuggets history, but at the time, he was considered one of the most attractive free agents.
Tariq Abdul-Wahad might have been the...
Well, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, we got a few of those, right? But my point is that there was an era not too long ago when Denver was an attractive place for free agents. Why did they sign here? Well, Stan Kroenke threw a lot of money at him, but the Nuggets were on the trajectory of the upward swing, and they wanted to be part of that culture. And having Carmelo here, and if they luck into a draft pick, if they get a top 3 pick, or if they end up with a 5th or 6th pick and they don't screw it up, they find a Damian Lillard or something like that.
You're talking about a transformational player like a Carmelo Anthony was.
If that happens, we could be 2 years away from a playoff appearance, not 6 years away.
Yeah, Okafor. Let's say they get Okafor.
Right.
Or they get the kid Towns from Kentucky.
Right.
Yeah, one player like that, then a free agent looks at it and says, they're giving me a little more money, and they see a team that's trending upward.
Right.
And right now, it's, to just tear it down. I've always disagreed with this philosophy of just make your roster. You said it's a step process. I mean, this process is apparently Chernobyl because it's just a complete and utter meltdown in every facet. I've never agreed with that let's just be so bad and clear out all space and people are going to want to come here.
But in the NBA, Troy, you almost have to do that.
But it leaves such a stench.
It does.
That it's hard to then convince anyone that's a winning player to be, come and reinvent
But if you
us.
end up with LeBron James or Kobe Bryant
but you end up
Carmelo
overpaying
Anthony,
the third-tier guy to be that guy.
See, Troy, here's what scares me about teardowns. What really scares me. It's one thing to tank, right?
Yeah.
Anyone can tank.
Yeah.
It's a whole nother thing to, A, get the first pick. You got to be real lucky.
Right.
And B, the year you get the first pick,
He's the guy you
could
want.
be the Purvis Ellison year.
Right.
You could be the Michael Olowokandi year. You could be the Kenyon Martin year. And you don't get LeBron James. You don't get Tim Duncan. You don't get David Robinson. So I've always been a little adverse to just blatant tanking, and this, I think karmically, if you do believe in karma, you have to put an earnest effort on the floor, which is why I'm glad the Melvin Hunt era has begun in earnest and is off to a good start because you owe it to your fans, I think, to play hard in the meantime. Yeah.
All right. The Kroenkes made this move. Mm-hmm. We're not quite sure if it was Josh.
Yeah, because we were out to dinner.
And Conley, or if it was Stan Kroenke, who still has a say in what goes on with his franchise, especially when it comes to big money issues.
Sure.
What do you think bothered Stan Kroenke more? Looking at the television and seeing all the empty seats, or the one-loss record?
Well, what bothered him more? I'm assuming the empty seats, but they do kind of go one and the same, don't they?
Because he's a huge basketball fan.
Oh, he's a huge basketball fan, and you and I have gotten a chance to get to know Stan a little bit. I like Stan. I'm a fan of Stan's, and I think he's incredibly passionate about basketball. He wants to have a winning product.
Well, that's why I ask.
Yeah.
Does he care about the empty seats, or does he care more about the And you're right. The two are tied together.
I think they're tied together.
Maybe it's not a fair question.
I think
but
they're
ask
tied
it
together
anyway.
because I've said ad nauseum, they could go 0-82. But if they play their butts off on their way to 0-82, I'm still going to buy tickets and go watch them play. And I think that, I'm not saying that I speak for every Nuggets fan. Most fans of every sport, including the one you follow, are fickle. You know, I mean, they come out when the team is winning, but I think that fans appreciate an honest effort out there, and that's what we weren't getting, and that's why those seats were empty. So I think that the empty seats, my gut feels that bothered him more than anything.
Yeah, when you can't be professional as a player, that's inexcusable. Shaw was a problem, but as you've mentioned, he wasn't the only problem.
No.
You have to still, once you're being paid, you're a professional. You have to act a certain way. I mean, I've covered a million bad Rocky teams, and what fans appreciate is, for the most part, they play hard. They still try. I mean, they may not be good enough, but you don't see guys completely dogging it and shutting it down. I mean, so to not give effort is just inexcusable, and that's why going forward, I mean, I think Lawson is salvageable. I would not want to move him yet until I know who my coach is, because he's really good in transition.
He might be salvageable, but it might have to be somewhere else.
I don't think so. I don't think you have to give up on Ty yet. I don't. I think if you change the players around Ty, that he can fit in and be a piece of the puzzle.
I don't like his demeanor, Troy. I just don't like his demeanor.
He hasn't
Spent
liked
a lot
yours.
of time in that locker room.
He hasn't liked yours since this birthday cake. You've been very arrogant and smart.
Hey, we do something. You want to say one more thing?
No, I said Ty scares me. If that's who you're
And
building.
you guys watch it more closely.
Obviously, he just scares me, and I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I've always felt like Ty Lawson's either the 16th best point guard and starting point guard in the NBA, or he's the best backup point guard in the NBA. And he scares me if that's who you're building your team around.